Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Rare Beauty collection. Selena Gomez has finally released her makeup collection that I for one have been waiting for since day one. And not so much because I'm like this huge Selena Gomez fan. I do love her song Rare. Like, I think that is such an awesome song. So I was super excited when I heard the name of her collection is Rare Beauty. I thought that was amazing. So in that sense, I guess I'm a fan, but she's not somebody that I follow or anything like that. But for some reason, I was just intrigued from the get-go to see what she was going to come out with. And then when the promo pics came out, oh my gosh, I knew I had to have it all. Now, there was a moment where I was kind of hesitant and I convinced myself to only purchase a few things. So I only ordered a few things online. Those things have not arrived to me, so I ended up having to go into the store to buy what I wanted yesterday morning because I cannot wait until Tuesday to get all this stuff in. So I've been playing with these products. I played with them all day yesterday. Today I wore them as well before I jumped in the shower and got ready for the afternoon because I'm filming this pretty late in the day. I usually like to film earlier, so I will not be doing a wear test today, but I did one yesterday and I wore it for a little bit over 4 hours today. So I feel like I've already formulated a pretty good opinion on these products. I didn't pick up the whole shebang, but I honestly got quite a bit. We've got the sponge, we've got the brush, I have the foundation, the concealer, a highlighter, a blush, and one of the lip products. Oh, also the eyeliner. If you guys want to see how I created this look, if you want to see the Rare Beauty collection in action and what I think about these products, keep on watching. Okay, so I already went ahead and did my eyebrows because I did not pick up the Rare Beauty brow pencil. I just really wasn't interested in that. I was also not interested on the primer, but because it is an illuminating primer, I decided to use my Victoria Beckham. I keep forgetting the name of this. It's the Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer, and I find that this is quite illuminating, so that's why I figured, if anything, we'll use this one. Alright, so for foundation, this I definitely had to pick up. Originally, I had convinced myself to skip out on it, but here I am with the foundation. I don't know, I could not help myself. So the name of it isn't on the bottle, but look at this packaging. I am going to just be raving about the packaging on all of these products because I think they're all so beautiful. Everything has a very similar packaging. So to me, it's just very aesthetically pleasing because it's simple, but it has like this little artisticness to it that I just adore. So I think this is wonderful. I ended up picking up shade 250W. You can kind of see that it's a little bit too peachy for my skin tone, but we can make it work. So I'm going to shake it really well. This is very liquidy. The formula of this is quite unique. Now it comes with a doe foot applicator. All of these products pretty much do, and I just go ahead and apply it directly onto my skin. But if you're not, really into that, you can always apply it on the back of your hand and then pick it up from there with the sponge or a brush. So I actually ended up picking up both the sponge and their foundation brush. I just had to. So I've already tried both of these. I've already formulated an opinion on everything I'm going to show you guys today. So let me first use these. So I'm going to do one side of the face using the sponge, the other side using the brush. And then once I'm done applying, I'm going to let you guys know what I think about these products. So we'll do the sponge on this side, and I did wet this. So I'm going to go in with the sponge first on my left side. And a little bit of this foundation goes a long way. So that's why you guys saw I didn't apply too much, but it blends so quickly, so easily. Everything is just effortless, I feel like, with all of these products. Now with the sponge, this gave me medium coverage. And here you can see I was able to do pretty much half of my face with just those two little stripes that I applied. So I will say, guys, I am pretty amazed with this foundation. I'm super happy I did end up picking it up because I really was going to skip out on it, but it is just gorgeous. Look at how just easily it starts to blend. and it looks like your skin. Like, it does not sit on my skin at all. It just starts to right away kind of work with my skin, and it looks so skin-like. Okay, so here is the brush, and then we have the application with the sponge. I think overall, because I actually did end up applying a little bit more foundation on my right side, so it's showing a little bit more coverage here, and I also have a lot of more redness and hyperpigmentation on my left side, so that's going to show through a little bit more. But overall, you do kind of get the same amount of coverage when you're using either the sponge or the foundation brush. I pretty much feel like I get the same outcome. Honestly, I prefer the brush because I actually think it blends a lot nicer and it actually looks nicer on the skin. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more to show you guys how you can build this up to a full coverage without it looking cakey. So just where I need some. I think my forehead might need a little bit there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend this in with this brush. And immediately you see how it pretty much covered everything. It feels super, super good. I am so impressed with this foundation. Now, just because I'm impressed doesn't mean it's the perfect foundation for me. I tested this out yesterday. I wore it for about 9 hours. Overall, I am happy with how my makeup looked at the end of the day, but I will say that this requires some maintenance. I have a really oily T-zone, so it is not uncommon for me to have to blot throughout the day or kind of do a little bit of touching up throughout the day with my foundations if I'm planning to wear them for a long period of time. So I think by 9 hours, how this foundation actually looked on me wasn't bad at all. Now, yesterday I did try it where I left one side alone. I did not set it, but my right side I did. I set the concealer and the foundation, but only on the T-zone area. And I found that after 2 hours, only after 2 hours, the side that I did not set was extremely oily. At that point, my right side that I had set looked fine, so I didn't touch that, but I went ahead and blotted my left side. I noticed how good my foundation still looked after I blotted. Sometimes after blotting, the makeup still looks kind of worn. You lose some coverage. It actually looked really, really good still. My right side I left alone because I did not need to blot. It looked really nice. Then about 4 hours in is when I was noticing a little bit of my oils pulling through, but the way that my skin looked wasn't horrible. It wasn't where I needed to blot, but I went ahead and did it just again to see from that point on how long this foundation will last. So at this point I already know 2 things. One, I have to set it. If I don't set it, this is not going to last me past a few hours. So I have to set my T-zone. That's just what it is. And I definitely have to blot at the 4 to 5 hour mark if I want to continue wearing the makeup for a little bit longer. By the time it was 9 hours, my makeup still looked good. I think at that point I would have had to blot again if I wanted to continue wearing it. Overall, the formula of this I think is beautiful. By the way, I also wore it today, so I have already worn it twice. Right now that I'm filming, it's 5:30 in the afternoon. So I actually applied this morning, and then I was just kind of doing housework. I just wanted to like play with it again. I actually did not end up setting it this morning because I applied my makeup upstairs. I didn't have a setting powder with me, so I just left it as is. And I wore it for a little bit over 4 hours, and yeah, I did start producing a lot of oils on the center portion of my face, pretty much like I expected I would. But on these sides, everything looked great. It looked really nice and healthy. It was just this area that was looking like a hot mess. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it did not look all that flattering on me, but again, I blotted a little bit before I removed my makeup just to see how it was looking, and it looked really, really good. So overall, I am a huge fan of the foundation, but I will say I don't think it's a foundation that's going to work for everyone. So next we have the concealer, and this is called the Liquid Torch Brightening Concealer. The shade I picked up in the concealer is 260N. The doe foot on this is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some of this. So we'll use the sponge side first. I also feel like the consistency of this concealer is almost like the foundation, not quite as liquidy, but still kind of like that serum-y type of texture. So I like it. It is definitely more of a hydrating concealer. I'll use the brush to blend out this other side. This one's actually really nice. It feels super, super soft. So this concealer, I think, does say that it has a medium coverage. I think does it say it's medium to full or just medium? Let me take a looky here. Yeah, so it says medium to full coverage, but overall the coverage is listed as medium and it has a radiant finish, which I completely agree. Now, it's not radiant where it looks like too wet and emollient. It's just a very, I guess because the formula again is more on the thinner side, so it looks healthy to me. It is a little bit more of an everyday type of concealer. It just looks very natural, looks really nice on the skin. I will say that with this concealer, I did find that I lost a little bit of coverage by the end of the day yesterday. Today, since I only wore it for just over 4 hours, it actually looked pretty good. Actually, I kind of cleaned off some of that concealer, so maybe you guys can see the shape a little bit better. I'm going to try to add a little bit more on both sides just to see how much more coverage we can get out of this. And I'll go back with the sponge. Now, as far as the sponge versus the brush, honestly, if you guys are on the fence on which one to pick up, if you're thinking about picking up one of them, 100% I would recommend the brush. I think the sponge is nothing really all that special. At least the few times I've used it, it works fine, but it's got a kind of a weird texture. I can't describe the texture of this. I'm like the worst, but I don't know. I just don't really like it. I don't feel like this is something that I had to actually have. It's really kind of the only thing I sort of regret buying from the brand. I don't regret it because it's actually one of the items that I was really intrigued on getting because of the shape. I really like the shape of this. You can really get into like the little crevices and blend really well, but I think what's throwing me off is just how it feels, the texture of it. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, I don't really like it. But I mean, it does a job. It blends out very well. I just did not need it, I guess. So adding a little bit more, it did provide more coverage under my eyes. I think at this point it looks good. Overall, I think this is a nice concealer. Like I said though, this is more of an everyday concealer. So if you already have one that you like for everyday, you may not need to like run out to get this. Out of the concealer versus the foundation, I would actually go for the foundation and leave the concealer behind. Actually, I forgot I wanted to also just apply some so that I can balance out this foundation shade. So although I'm not going to be wearing this makeup for all that long today, I do know at this point that I have to set this foundation and this concealer for me to get the best out of these two products. So I'm going to go ahead and set it. I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. I use the shade Cupcake. And really the purpose of this is so that I can show you guys how I would actually apply this makeup when I do plan on wearing it for a longer period of time. And it's really just setting the under eye, which honestly I should mention as well, the concealer didn't crease horribly on me on the side that I did not set yesterday, but it looked a little bit nicer on the side that I did set. So if I'm going to set my T-zone, I just might as well go ahead and set my under eyes. Okay, now I do want to point something out because I had not noticed this yesterday when I sat, and I use that Huda Beauty powder quite often. It's actually one of my favorite loose powders, but I do feel here as if I lost a little bit of the coverage from that foundation. Now, I noticed it a little bit on this side, not as much as I do on this left side where I do have more acne and I am treating it, so I do have more dryness going on there. So I'm going to give it some time. Sometimes this does happen to me, but after maybe even about 20 minutes or so, it kind of starts to look a little bit better afterwards. So hopefully that's the case with this, because if not, then I don't know. I guess if you do have some dryness like this, you may not be such a fan of the foundation, because yesterday the side that I set was my right side. But if we have acne going on here and some dryness and then we set it, it may not really be doing us that much of a favor. So we will see. I will scoot you guys back in once I'm done doing my makeup so we can assess the situation. Alright, so next I'm gonna apply the highlighter, and this is the packaging for the highlighter, which is called the Positive Light Liquid Luminizing Highlight. The shade of this one is Mesmerized, which is described as a rose bronze. This is actually a much more subtle highlighter than I thought it was going to be, and it looks beautiful. So let's go in with the sponge. I'll use another end. But you guys, like, just like everything else, it applies beautifully. You do see a little hint of that pinkness, but it looks so nice. And it looks very natural. It actually lasted all day on me yesterday. I thought I was going to probably not really be able to tell where I had applied the highlighter, but no, you could really see just like an actual natural, like a glow from within on the areas that I did apply the highlight. So I love that, because sometimes with subtle highlighters, especially liquid, I think, well, really it doesn't matter what kind of highlighters, but a lot of times subtle highlighters, they just don't last very long. But at the 9-hour mark, this was still looking really good. Now, typically after I highlight, I bronze, and unfortunately, she did not come out with any bronzers. I think Rare Beauty definitely needs a bronzer in their line. A liquid bronzer would be amazing. A liquid contour would be amazing. So hopefully that'll come out next. So for now, I'm not going to bronze. I think once I'm done with my makeup, if I feel like I really need it, then I'll go ahead and pick up another bronzer. But for right now, let's go ahead and skip that. But let's go in with some blush. And these blushes are, okay, these blushes, so far I've only tried one. I opted for this one first because the one I ordered online is one of the pink shades. I can't remember the name of it, but that also has a dewy finish. So I thought, okay, I know I'm already getting a dewy one. Let me go ahead and buy a matte one. So this one's called Love, and I do love the shade of this. It is really beautiful. These blushes are pigmented. This actually has the same doe foot. I didn't show it to you guys from the highlighter, but the blushes and the highlighter have the same doe foot applicator. So as you can see at the end, it gets flat, but it's angled. So it's quite interesting. I did wipe some off right here just because it picks up quite a bit. And I'm telling you guys, a little bit goes a long way. So let me try to be careful. I'm gonna apply it back here. Oh, okay. And then I'll continue on this side with the sponge. And it actually blends super easily. No patchiness, nothing. I did set this area right here. No patchiness. Actually, now that I look at that area again, I forgot. It's actually not looking that bad. A little bit actually right here, a little bit. Alright. Alright, we'll give that a few more minutes, see what happens with that. I'm a little upset about it. Okay, I'll use the brush for this side. And I don't feel like you have to work super fast with these. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some on the bridge of my nose and connect all of this. But yeah, like I didn't feel like I had any like patchiness with this blush at all. Well, that looks really pretty. And there we go with that. I really like this. Now, these, I saw Selena's makeup artist apply this on a model on the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Use this brush and see how it looks. I have not tried this. Oh, I think this brush had some glitter. If this actually looks good, it's going to be a nice like monochromatic look. Well, actually, it's not going to be very monochromatic because the lip shade I have is not this color. No, but I like that. Okay, I love this. I actually really love that on the lids. Now, this blush, just like the highlighter, lasted all day on me yesterday, so I suspect it's going to be about the same thing on the lids. Hopefully it does increase. I really like the tone on the lids with that. Really happy with it. Yeah, no complaints on the blush. All right, so as far as lips, she came out with, oh no. It's not time for lips yet. I ended up buying the eyeliner. For me, this was kind of a must-have. So I don't do very well at applying eyeliner and talking at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this, and then I'll share with you guys my thoughts on this little guy. Oh, by the way, this is called the Perfect Strokes Matte Liquid Liner, and it only comes in black. So I definitely messed up here on this side. So I'm gonna grab some concealer, and with a little brush, I'm going to clean this. Alright, so I ran into a little bit of a hiccup today with the eyeliner. I did feel like I had to go in a few times, add extra coats so that I can get the opacity that I like from an eyeliner, because otherwise it was looking a little bit kind of streaky, I would say. But it wasn't difficult to do. The last 2 times I wore this, I created a really easy, quick eyeliner, and I was very happy with it. Today, because I was holding it open while I was talking to you guys, it started to dry out a little bit on the tip, so it took quite a while for me to actually get it going. And once I did, I felt like it was quite easy. On this side, I just ended up messing up the wing right here, so that was more, you know, my fault. But definitely because I had it open, I think it just made a big difference, where it gave me a little bit more of a harder time than what I was experiencing previously. Overall though, I think this is a really nice eyeliner. I don't think it's super user-friendly because although the tip gets quite pointy, I still feel like the actual applicator is still quite thick. So that can be a little bit challenging. I don't always go in and create an actual wing. I like to actually line my lash line a lot using a liquid eyeliner, but with this one I'll have to be very careful to angle it properly to not add too much pressure on the sides, because that's where you're going to start creating a thicker liner. So because of the shape of this, I like it, but I can see why it may not work for other people. Rare Beauty does not have a mascara, so I just went ahead and applied my Hourglass Unlocked mascara on the top and bottom lashes. Got a little bit of it up here. And now for lipstick. So she ended up releasing a balmy type of lip product. I skipped out on those. I just really wasn't interested in them. But I did get one of these, which are called the Matte Lip Creams, and I have the shade Courage, and I think these are nice. Actually, I also do like the applicator of these as well. I feel like she went really unique with the packaging and the applicators. I love how it has like this pointiness here on top that you can use to pretty much line your lips. So that's what I'm going to do here right now. These feel very comfortable. They have kind of a moussey consistency, and I really like them. They remind me of the new MAC Powder Kiss liquid lip colors. These I don't like all that much applying it directly from the doe foot onto my lips. I like it if I blend it out with my finger or with a brush, but on its own, I don't know, I feel like it's just too thick. So I think this is actually a much better version of that, and it has a pretty decent wear time as well. It will transfer, but it still ends up leaving like a stain on your lips. And at least this shade, I don't know how the brighter or darker ones look after a few hours, but this one at the 9-hour mark yesterday, I didn't really have much of it left on my lips, honestly. I mean, I was drinking throughout the day, eating, so I didn't have a lot of this, but definitely at the 4-hour mark, I still had lipstick on and it looked really nice. It ends up leaving a little bit more of like a stain, but it looked really nice and even. So as far as this color in the shade Courage, I like how it starts to kind of wear off, but very nice and even, and it feels really good. It's not a lipstick that's like super wow either, but it is where, I mean, I'm willing to pick up another shade to try out. So obviously I do like it enough to purchase another one and test out. Let me actually scoot you guys in so we can see how the skin is looking, and now that we're all done with the makeup. Alright, so here we are up and close again, and I'm very happy with how my skin is looking. I'm super happy that I gave it some time, because as you can see right here, there is zero patchiness. Whatever happened earlier is not happening anymore. I think the foundation and everything I applied is starting to work with my natural oils, with my natural chemicals, and it's looking really good. I feel like my skin looks really nice and healthy. My makeup looks very natural, and I'm just very happy with the outcome of this. And I'm super happy that this foundation actually ended up working, because I was really getting bummed out, because I started filming with this huge hype on the foundation, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to set this foundation, and if I cannot wear it set, I just can't wear it at all, because it was looking really patchy right here. But that is fixed, so I am super happy to see that. I love how this is looking. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys out. You're a little bit too close to me right now, and I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts. Alright guys, so I think at this point you probably already know I am a fan of this Rare Beauty line. There are some products here that really stand out, and I'm going to share them with you guys. So in my opinion, for what I like, I am actually very happy with the foundation. I feel like this is for sure a product that if you're even the least bit curious on, I really think it's worth giving it a try. I love the finish of it, very natural, very radiant, but all in a very wearable way, and I just love that. Talking about a very wearable way, the highlighter. I think this is another standout product, but only if you are somebody that likes more of a subtle highlight. It's really a glow from within. I cannot stress that enough, at least for this shade Mesmerize that I have. But this highlighter is one that I can see myself using regularly and often, like really actually using often, because I just loved it that much. And then the blush. Right now, I think there are a lot of liquid blushes that are just superb, very beautiful, that I would recommend. And honestly, I would add this to the list. I think that foundation with a matte blush is the perfect combo for me and my skin type, so I'm very happy with it. So those are for sure the 3 products that I would highly recommend from the brand. Everything else I really liked. There's nothing that I would say steer clear from. If you guys have any of these products, if you've tried anything out, let me know what you think. I mean, I'm curious. Am I the only one obsessed with everything? I've been trying not to watch other people's videos. I only watched one the day before the release just to kind of get an idea. But that's it. I have not watched any other videos. Now I do want to go and binge watch all of them to see what other people think, because I guess I'm so excited about it, so I'm hoping other people are as well. But again, who knows, we all have different preferences, so I'm just curious to see what other people think, what you guys think. So do share in the comments down below. Alright guys, that is it as far as today's video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And while you're there, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.